Hello, mathematicians. This week we're working on 2A.1.1. That tells us that we're going to represent, create, describe, complete, and extend growing and shrinking patterns with quality numbers in a variety of real-world and mathematical contexts. That is a lot of words this week, isn't it? Let's look at this, what it says, real world. Okay, so let's try this out. So you're given a long homework assignment. You start with 7 math problems on Monday. I give you another 7 math problems on Tuesday. I give you another 7 problems on Wednesday. How many problems should you have done by Wednesday? Can you take a second? What do you think? So our total will be 21 problems by Wednesday because we did 7 on Monday night. Then we added 7 more. So that makes 14 for Tuesday night. And then we did 7 more on Wednesday. So we add 7 to 14, which gives us 21. That's called repeated addition. Yeah. So let's take a look at some examples. So when are we going to use this? So this is helpful when you create a number pattern, you use a number line. So let's look. Create a number pattern with the rule add 4. We're going to start at 3. And the rule is to add 4. So we go up 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That takes us to 7. So this is how we start. 3 plus 4 equals 7. Okay. Remember our rule is to add 4. Now we have 7. We're going to add 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. That takes us to 11. So 7 plus 4 is 11. You can see that on the number line. Okay, so if we're going to extend the pattern, that means make it continue. What's it going to be next? So we started with 3, 7, 11. We need to go up 4 from 11. 1, 2, 3, 4. What is this number? 15. So our next number in our pattern, if our pattern is to add 4, would be 15. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 11 plus 4 is 15. So our pattern is 3, 7, 11, 15. You see that? Yeah, this is going to be really easy. Now, if you don't have down adding to 20, not adding, you don't have down counting to 20. This is going to be really hard. So you need to be able to count to 20, recognize all your numbers between 0 and 20, and be able to write all your numbers between 0 and 20. Okay? So you need to make sure that you can do those 3 things, and then this week will be super easy for you. So if you don't have those 3 things down, we have to continue on with our math lesson, but you also have to practice those, okay? Okay. So let's keep going. So we're going to create a number pattern with the rule for subtraction. Ooh, we were doing adding now. We're going to subtract. We're going to subtract 2 is our number rule. And we're going to start all the way down our number line at 20. Okay, so if we go 20 and we go back 2, that takes us to 18. So 20 minus 2 is 18. Now we're at 18. Remember our rule is going back 2. We're going to go back 2, 17, 16. So 18 minus 2 is 16. So what would be the next number if we extended? I want you to say it with me. Say extended. Extended the pattern. Remember that means to continue on the pattern. So we did 20, 18, 16. See, it's getting smaller by 2 because that's our pattern. So what is 16 minus 2? So we start at 16. Let's go 1, 2. What number is that? 14. So 16 minus 2 is 14. So then our pattern is going to be 20, 18, 16, 14. What if we extended it one more? What's 2 down from 14? 12. Good job. All right. So remember, if our pattern is subtracting, then our number's getting smaller. And if we're adding, our number pattern is getting bigger. So see, we went from the big old 20 down, 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 all the way to 14. And when we were doing the addition one, it started this little number 3 and went up, 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 all the way to 15. So keep that in mind. That's how you can check your work. Like, am I adding? I need to make sure my pattern's getting bigger. Am I subtracting? I need to make sure my pattern's getting smaller. Okay? All right. So now, this is the hard part. This is the tricky part, guys. We have to find out what the rule is. Oh my gosh, how are we going to do that? So look, we have 25, 28, 31. So the first thing we have to figure out, is it getting bigger or smaller? Then we know if we have to add or subtract. So 25, 28, 31. Are those numbers getting bigger or smaller? They're getting bigger, so that means we need to add. So the pattern's getting larger, so our rule is to add. So 25 plus what equals 28? So let's just count up. We have 25. Count with me. 26, 27, 28. So you just keep putting fingers up until you get to the number you want. Or if you have counters, or counting bears, you can use any object you want to help you count. You can draw a number line if you want. So we're going to count until we get to the number we want. So the number we want is 28. So 25, we start at 25, and then we put our finger up for the next one. 26, 27, 28. So 25 plus what equals 28? 3, correct. So if we add 3 to 28, what number is that going to give us? 28, 29, 30, 31. So is that the next number? So yes, so our rule must be, our pattern is to add 3 to the number. Okay, so if we know that our pattern is to add 3 to the number, what number would be next after 31? Count with me. 32, 33, 34. Good. So 34 would be next in the pattern. See, this is going to take me a little bit more time because you've got to do a few steps to think it out, but it's going to be so easy. Yeah, it's going to be so easy. All right, so let's try some together to make sure you know what you're doing for this week. Okay, so we have to find the rule. We have 74, 70, 66. Is our number getting bigger as we go right, or is it getting smaller as we read from left to right? What do you think? Smaller. It's getting smaller. So does that mean we're going to add or subtract? Subtract. When it gets smaller, we subtract. So the rule is subtracting. So now we have to figure out 74 minus what equals 70. So there's a couple ways we could do this. We can count backwards. We can go 74, okay? Then we go 73, 72, 71, 70. That's 4. So if you can count backwards, that's one way to do it. You can always count forward, but I don't want it to confuse you. But you could start at 70 and go 70, 71, 72, 73, 74. Go, oh, okay, 4. So if I subtract or minus 4, it's going to give me the number I need. But I want you to try counting backwards, okay? So we're going to go 74. So we start with 74, 73, 72, 71, 70. Okay? So 4 is our rule. Okay, if we kept going, we got to double check to make sure that's our rule. If we keep going from 70 and we take away 4, will it equal 66? Let's try it. 70. So we start with 70, so we go 69, 68. What's next? 67, 66. Yes, so if we subtract 4, then we get 66. So our rule is to subtract 4. So our last number known is 66. So if we take 4 from 66, what is it? What are we going to get? We have 66, count backwards, 65, 64, 63, 62. So if we went backwards, if we extended our pattern, the next number, if our rule is to subtract 4, it would be 62. Is this getting hard yet? The subtracting might be a little bit hard, huh? Got to really think about it. Okay, let's look here. All right, so we're going to extend this pattern. It says find what the rule is and keep going. So our rule is to add 5. So our number is going to get bigger or smaller? Yeah, bigger. So we have 24, 29, 34. So you can see it on the number line, 24, 29, 34. So we have the number line here, so we can use the number line, or you can use your fingers, or if you have counting bears or counters, or you can get spoons if you want, anything you want to help you count. So we have 34. We're going to go up 5 because that's our rule. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we add 5 to our last known number, 34, we get 39. So 34 plus 5 equals 39. The next number in the pattern would be 39. Woo! Getting high, getting those numbers big. You got to be able to count to 100. So if you can't count to 100, you got to practice that, okay? So here's our numbers, 24, 29, 34, 39. What if we added 5 to 39? If we extended this pattern, what would be next? 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. So 44 would be next. So you just keep adding 5. The adding's a lot easier, isn't it, than subtracting? Yeah, but you'll be okay. You just got to practice. That's why we're doing this. Okay. How about this? Create a pattern starting at 4 using the rule add 7. So you're going to start at 4, and the rule is to add 7. So you're going to go get your whiteboard. So pause the video if you need to, if you forgot your whiteboard today. So go get your whiteboard, and we're going to write this down. So you're going to start with, right here, let me help you, let me straight. You're going to start with 4, okay? So we're going to pretend like 4 is right here, okay? Then we need to use the rule add 7, and we're going to add 7, add 7, add 7. So what would be the next 3 numbers if our rule is to add 7? Pause the video, and I want you to write the next 3 numbers if our rule is add 7. So pause the video now and do that on your whiteboard. Unpause the video to check your answer. Okay, these should be the numbers you've gotten. You started at 4. We add 7, that makes it 11. We add 7, that makes it 18. We add 7, that makes it 25. And it's very important, I say this every week, it's very important that you write these numbers down because you need practice writing numbers. Okay? See, look, I've been practicing writing numbers, and I think mine are getting better every week too. It's hard to write on the computer. So you need to practice writing those numbers. So that's why I want you to write them on the whiteboard. I don't want you to just do it in your head and think about it. And I don't want you to just watch it and not think about it at all. You need to be pausing the video and following along and doing what you're asked to do. So did you write down 11, 18, and 25? Okay. If not, you might need a little help. Maybe you just miscounted. So you could pause this video and go ask an older sibling or an adult to help you if you got these wrong, to figure out why you got it wrong. Did you just miss one? Did you miss the first one and then it kind of threw you off? Or are you not understanding how to add 7 to your number? Okay? So if you didn't get this right, go right now and ask someone to help you. Okay? Let's look at number 2. Create a pattern starting at 25 and subtract 3. So we're going to start at 25 and subtract. This time we're going to subtract 3. So we have 25, and our rule is subtract 3. So our numbers should be getting what? Smaller. So pause the video and put this on your whiteboard. Okay, so here we have 25, and then you should have written down 22, because 25 minus 3 is 22. 22 minus 3 is 19. 19 minus 3 is 16. Again, if you didn't get this one, because sometimes subtracting can be harder, you need to pause the video and tell an older sibling or an adult what you're doing. Tell them what your objective is, which is trying to subtract 3 from 25, and you want to extend the pattern 3 numbers, and see if they can help you and figure out where you went wrong. Okay? Sometimes we just missed ones, counted off. Adults do that all the time too, and then it gets our whole pattern off. So you might always want to check your work before you submit it. Okay? All right, so let's look at the next one. So if you need to pause the video and do that, go pause now and go get some help. If you're good to go, let's keep watching. It's a little bit different. Describe the rule for the pattern 34, 38, 42. So remember, the first thing you need to ask is are the numbers getting bigger or smaller? Bigger. They're getting bigger. So does that mean add or subtract? It means to add. Good. So we're going to add these numbers. So 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. So that looks like we're going to add how many? 4. Let's double check. We're going to try 38 to 42. 39, 40, 41, 42. Yeah, so it's going to be 4. So we're adding. So we're going to add 4 is your answer. And what would the next number be? 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. Got it? Okay. Let's look at the next one. Next one you're going to try by yourself. Okay, describe the rule for the pattern 81, 75, 69. Are you adding? Are you subtracting? And how many are you adding or subtracting by? Pause the video and I want you to think about this and write down your answer. I want you to write if you're adding or subtracting and by how many. Okay, so what did you get? Add or subtract? Subtract. How many did you get? Add or subtract how many? 6. Yeah, we have to subtract 6 on this one. All right, what about the next one? Let's look at that. It says extend the following pattern. What did we say extend meant? Yeah, to keep it going, make it get bigger. So what will come next in this pattern? 72, 81, 90. Pause the video and figure out what would go next. Pause the video now and write it on your whiteboard. Okay, so what did you get? Are we adding or subtracting here? We're adding. The numbers are getting bigger. And how much are they getting bigger by? 9. So we have to add 9 to everything. So 90 plus 9 equals what? Is that what you got? All right, let's look at this one. Create a pattern starting at 39 using the add 5 rule. So our first number is 39. Okay, pause the video and add 5 to 39 and do it 3 times. Okay, pause the video now. Okay, check your answers. This is what you got. 44, 49, 54. So we do 39 plus 5 is 44. 44 plus 5 is 49. 49 plus 5 is 54. I know mine looks like an S. I need to practice that more, huh? Fives are hard. Let's see. Oh, that one's better, huh? A little bit. Okay, so the next one says we are going to create a pattern starting at 77 and using the subtract 2 rule. So you're going to start at 77. Okay, what comes next if we're going to subtract 2? Pause the video, put it on your whiteboard. Okay, check your answer. We start at 77 and we're subtracting 2. 77 minus 2 is 75. 75 minus 2 is 73. 73 minus 2 is 71. Okay, good. So let's look at the next 2. Okay, let me scroll this up. Okay, so the next 2 says find the rule for this pattern. 24, 30, 36. That should be a comma right there. Let's fix it right now. Okay, so pretend that's a comma. So 24, 30, 36. Okay, so write those 3 numbers on your whiteboard. 24, 30, 36. And write these 3 numbers on your whiteboard. 56, 53, 50. Okay, so write them nice and neat in a line and give yourself space to write. And you're going to write add or subtract and by how many. And then you're going to write add or subtract and by how many. So I want you to pause the video now and decide what the rule for these 2 patterns are. Pause now. Okay, is this what you got? We had to add 6 on the first one and subtract 3 on the second one. 24 minus 6 is, 24 plus 6 is 30. 30 plus 6 is 36. 56 minus 3 is 53. 53 minus 3 is 50. So we knew this one was addition because the numbers were getting bigger, and this one was subtraction because the numbers were getting smaller. Okay, then you just had to figure out by how much. So you either had to count forward or count backwards, didn't we? Good. Okay, now we're going to get into some word problems. Let's look at this one. Philip had 28 marbles. He gave some marbles to Brent. Then Philip had 24 marbles. He gave some marbles to Parker. Then Philip had 20 marbles. What is the rule to figure out how many marbles Philip is giving away? Are the numbers getting bigger or smaller? Yeah, they're getting smaller because he's giving them away. And how many marbles is he giving to his friends? So he started with 28, and then he gave how many to Brent? And then how many did he give to Parker? Pause the video, and I want you to say, we already said it was subtract. Okay, so we know it's subtraction. Oops. So we said subtract. That was easy because we knew he was giving them away, and when you give them away, we're getting less, not more. Okay. So is he subtracting by what number? Figure that out. Pause the video. Figure that out. Write your number down. And then see if you're correct. And then unpause the video. So pause now. Okay, did you figure out how many is he giving away to his friends? 4. So if you were his friend and he was going to give you, what would be the next number? Start with 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. That would be the next number. You have 16 left. Now you're going to practice on your own. Remember, it's just adding and subtracting. And it's okay if you count with your fingers or use counting bears or counters or forks or your teddy bears. You can use anything you want to help you count. There's no rule that says you can't use things to help you count. We need that. It's called manipulatives. Can you say that? Manipulatives. Yeah, I use them when I work with you guys too. So use the manipulatives and help you count forward and backwards so that you can get these correct. All right, you're going to do great this week. Remember, and keep practicing counting, writing, and recognizing your numbers to 100.